Hey everybody, welcome to Cybersecurity for Busy People. I'm Zach Varnell, and as always, let's just get straight into the stories. All right, first up we have the FBI is warning about a new wave of scams powered by generative AI targeting smartphone users with highly convincing tactics. So criminals are using AI to create deepfake videos, audio clips, and even live interactions, which makes it increasingly difficult for people to identify fraudulent schemes. For instance, scammers are generating AI-driven voices that mimic loved ones in distress, urging the victims to send money for fabricated emergencies. Others are faking video calls, posing as law enforcement officers or company executives to try to gain the trust of the victim and extract sensitive information or some sort of payment. The FBI's advice here is simple but critical. If you get a suspicious call, hang up immediately and then verify the person's identity using a trusted method, like calling them directly on a number you know is real. They're also suggesting a step that seems a little odd, but it's to create a secret word or phrase that only you and your close family or friends would know. So that way, if an actual emergency were to happen, you could have a quick and reliable way to confirm it's really them. And while scammers are using AI to trick people, ironically, AI is also being used to fight back, with tools being developed to detect these type of scams and deepfakes in real time. So as these tools evolve, so will the scams. That's why staying informed, being skeptical, and taking precautions like creating that safe word are your best defense against getting caught up in these emerging schemes. All right, next up, we have a major year-long supply chain attack has been uncovered that was targeting both cybersecurity professionals and hackers and has stolen nearly 390,000 credentials along the way. The attackers managed to pull this off by sneaking malware into open source software and through phishing emails aimed at researchers. They used some modified software packages on platforms like GitHub to turn what seemed like legitimate tools into the sneaky malware. So the packages started out as, innocent utilities that people knew and trusted and gradually transformed into malware that contained hidden backdoors and even made their way into trusted sources like the GitHub repositories and things like that. So once installed, the malware would quietly steal SSH keys, command line history, and even credentials needed to access cloud platforms. And it would, I think, perform that every 12 hours. Oh, and for some unlucky people, it also ran crypto mining on their machines, although it didn't seem to do that to everybody. Just a subset of particularly unlucky victims got that. But it didn't even stop there. The attackers also sent out phishing emails to people who develop or research software for high performance computing. So they were specifically targeted using what was a pretty good phishing scam too. Like, I can't blame them too much for falling for it because it looked legit, it sounded legit, and it was relevant to what they were actually doing. So, there are some good ones out there every now and then. You can't always trust that phishing scams are going to be obvious or use broken English or be irrelevant. They're, when they're targeted, they can be very convincing. And this one encouraged them to install a CPU microcode update that they said would significantly improve performance. So, these researchers, a lot of them seem to fall for it because that was relevant to their work. So the whole operation was professional, and it shows how skilled and determined the hackers were. They did slip up a little bit by leaving some phishing templates and email lists out in the open, so researchers were able to grab those and get a little peek behind the curtain. But overall, it was a very sophisticated and well-crafted campaign. From the malware they created all the way to the phishing emails they used to plant that malware. However, no one's really quite sure what the motivations behind this campaign was, so I guess we gotta watch out for any more developing news on that. All right, and last here we have Google's new tracking policy has sparked significant concern as it moves to implement digital fingerprinting technology across multiple platforms, including smart TVs, gaming consoles, and the Chrome browser. And this is all starting February 16th. So this method, which Google had previously criticized, is set to replace third-party cookies and offers a more persistent way for it to track users. So digital fingerprinting collects data such as device details, IP addresses, browsing habits even, and uniquely identifies individuals. So unlike cookies, which can be easily deleted or blocked, this is not. It's more, happening in the background and you can't really control it. It's on their side. Their systems are doing these things. Regulators like the UK's ICO have criticized the approach, calling it a step backward for privacy and warning businesses about its lack of transparency. So Google is arguing that this change is backed by advancements in privacy-enhancing technologies, which now allow for targeted ads to be served while maintaining privacy protections. I don't know if that's true. That's what they're claiming. And critics are saying that the shift is actually just going to make tracking more opaque and harder for users to manage. So this development comes as Google is already facing legal and regulatory pressure in the US for antitrust. They're saying that, they basically have a monopoly on internet search. And I think one US court is even thinking about telling them to divest Chrome. So Google would no longer own Chrome. I'm not sure if they just suggested that. I don't think there's been any ruling making them do that yet, but that seemed to be what one court at least was saying, but who knows if it'll end up there or not. For users, understanding these changes and maintaining control over personal data is essential. Privacy-conscious individuals may want to explore tools and browsers that offer protection against fingerprinting and cross-platform tracking. So one of those is Brave. That's what I use. I don't know if it's available on things like, consoles and TVs. Probably not. I know Chrome is available basically everywhere, but, I use Brave on my smartphone, on my computer. I have not looked into it other places, but, check it out. Check out Brave. I like it pretty well. All right, that is it for this episode of Cybersecurity for Busy People. We'll be back next time. In the meantime, check out asteros.com, especially if you have any needs for vulnerability management, penetration testing when it comes to things like apps your company may be developing, your network, if you need compliance-based penetration testing or you just want to be more secure, go check out what we offer there. And thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. See you guys next time.